Hi Flosstube, I'm Rachel Stitchy Rach here on Flosstube and on Instagram. It's Thursday the 2nd of March and this is my channel about cross stitch. Hi everyone, thank you for dropping by to join me on this very lovely spring Thursday morning. Stan and I have just been for a morning walk and it's beautiful out there. It's like breeze, blue sky, fairly mild. Daffodils coming, crocuses are up, snowdrops everywhere, it's beautiful. So yeah, really blew the cobwebs away, so feeling ready to kind of sit down and film. I'm also a couple of days late, it's just been super busy. I last saw you just over 2 weeks ago. Oh, sorry, I'm just pull my leg up. And it was half term, and so obviously that was busy. We did lots of nice half-termy things and had play dates, and then I went to see the Cézanne exhibition on the Friday night with my friend, which was super, really enjoyed that, and we had a really nice evening together. And yeah, really enjoyed the Cézanne exhibition actually. We both agreed that we like his landscapes and I like his still life more than her, but I do like a good still life. And we could both take or leave his bathers, frankly, we really could. But yeah, really, really good exhibition, really enjoyed that. And nice to got to London and be a grown-up for once. And then the first week when the kids go back to school is always a bit chaotic because you're trying to sort out from half term, and I've also had quite a bit of parish council stuff to do, and I'm also a school governor. I've had a bit of that to do, so yeah, it's just been a lot going on. Sorry, I'm moving my shoulder. Yeah, it's just been a lot going on. I'm also in a bit of pain today, particularly in my shoulder, so just bear with me. How did this start? During lockdown, I put on a bit of weight. Not like terrible, but I was, the kids were at home, we were doing remote learning and there was a lot of food in the house and I was living a very sedentary life at the time, and I put on some weight. And my next door neighbour's daughter had come home, she's in her 20s, had come home for lockdown. And once the kids had gone back to school, it was still that funny bit, the kids went back to school and then it was still like, you still couldn't, I can't remember all the mad rules, but you know, you couldn't meet up with people, and it's just one person outside or whatever. Anyway, she's a personal trainer and she'd moved back home and was living next door. So we started doing some like personal training stuff outside. And we did that for like 2-3 months or whatever, and then she went back to her proper life in London when all the gyms opened and stuff and she could, you know, earn money again. So we did that and, you know, it was great and I quite enjoyed it. And my legs are quite strong. I used to dance a lot when I was younger. I am not in the greatest shape. I don't look bad, but I don't have kind of muscle mass or anything. So I'm not, you know, since having the kids, all the core muscles are leave a bit to be desired. Anyway, I'm waffling now. Where was I going with this? Yeah, so it became her ambition because I have no upper body strength to try and get me to do a press up, because I can't do press ups. I can't do a proper one anyway, not even nearly. And so she nearly got me to do just one by the time she went back to London, and this was all, what, 2021, so it's a couple of years ago. Anyway, she has just recently moved back home again, like permanently, well, yeah, until she moves out again, but she's living here at the moment. So she said to me, do you want to start doing it again? So I was like, yeah. So I've done 2 sessions with her this week, partly because she's going on holiday. Well, it's kind of a working holiday. She's running a retreat while she's on holiday, but she's going on holiday today. So I've done 2 sessions with her this week, and yesterday she had me doing some upper body work and like some hanging stuff, like off like a pull-up bar. I wasn't doing pull-ups. I was just dangling off this bar. But this bit here, this like soft bit between your kind of short, I suppose it's not meant to be soft, I presume on her it's like muscle. But here, between your kind of your shoulder and your upper body, that soft bit. Oh, it's agony. Absolute agony today, so I feel like I can't really lift my arms much above that. So yeah, sorry, I was doing that and I was trying to loosen it off a bit. Anyway, so that's enough for my fitness waffle. So I get a break for 2, although she said she's going to put me together a programme so I can do 20 minutes a day. I did semi-ask her for that as well, but yeah, we'll see. We will see. Yeah, it's been interesting. You only realise kind of how out of shape you are once you start doing these things. But I digress massively. It is also World Book Day today. Some of you will be all too painfully aware of that, and some of you will be in blissful ignorance, and some of you may even enjoy it. Yeah, World Book Day. Feeling a bit grinchy about the whole thing, it must be said. Not because I don't like reading, I love reading. Not because I don't think we should encourage children to develop a love of reading and literature. Absolutely do. I have read to my children every single day since they were about 3 months old. They always have a bedtime story. They have lots of books available in the house. We go to the library, you know, all the things, all that good stuff. But I do feel World Book Day is actually just World Dressing Up Day and just a commercial racket for supermarkets. So if you would like to skip my World Book Day round, just go forward 3 minutes. But many things annoy me about World Book Day. Many things. So the commercialisation of it all annoys me. I don't like dressing up. Let's just get that straight out on the table. I am not a fan of fancy dress. It's fine when you're in primary school. All my kids dress up. I buy them dressing up clothes. I have no problem with small children enjoying fancy dress, which is, I suppose, you know, World Book Day is aimed at them and not me. But I don't like fancy dress. And certainly once you're, you know, beyond the age of 16, I kind of think you should just be over it. I don't want to go to a fancy dress party. I just want to look nice. Anyway, so I'm not a big fan of fancy dress. Anytime I have to get my kids in fancy dress for school, it's just, it just gets them out of routine, and then they start thinking all kinds of rules don't apply. You know, anything that gets kids out of routine, and you as a parent out of the routine of just getting everyone out of the door, I find annoying. World Book Day in particular, I find other parents annoying. Now, there's a lot of parents that think like me. And if you love World Book Day and you're out and proud of World Book Day, fair play to you. But there are two types of parents that particularly annoy me on World Book Day. The ones that say they find it annoying, but have meanwhile crafted a whole paper mache dogman head at 2:30 a.m. on a Sunday. I find them annoying. And then the other ones I find annoying are the ones who are like, oh, well, I just didn't put any effort into it. And make a big virtue of the fact they haven't put any effort into it. Like, you know, it's fine. Neglectful mother, fine. No, just be normal. Just be normal. And then the third thing I find annoying about it, or maybe this is the fourth, I've lost track of the number of annoying things I find about World Book Day, is the kids who go dressed up as books you know they cannot possibly have read. No, I do not believe your 6-year-old has read Sherlock Holmes, Wuthering Heights, Jude the Obscure, any Gothic Victorian author, definitely not Dracula, not the complete work. You know, the number of kids who just turn up in costumes that they clearly have not read the book of. That's just parents trying to show off as well. Anyway, so that ran over my children. Oh yeah, you may well know if you've been here before. Sorry if you haven't been here before. I'm not always like this. I just feel very grumpy about World Book Day. I will show you some cross stitch in a minute. Anyway, my children don't go to the same school. So one school is doing World Book Day today, and then one school for some unknown reason has decided they're going to do it tomorrow. So not only have I got to go through World Book Day once, I have to go through it twice. So I'm annoyed about that as well. So the school that's doing it today decided that you didn't come dressed as a character from a book. You needed to come dressed as an adjective, which at first horrified me to my very core. And then I thought, actually, that's really easy. So there wasn't a huge amount of effort that had to be put into that, it must be said, which was quite nice. So one of my children's gone as Sleepy, and is wearing pyjamas. And the other one told me she wanted to wear her Elsa costume, which, you know, we have in our dressing up box. And she's gone as Icy. So worked backwards from the costume. The one who went as Sleepy was quite excited about it all, until I found out the reason he was excited last night, when he told me he didn't need to get dressed for school today because he was just wearing his pyjamas. At which point I had to point out, no, he couldn't wear the pyjamas he'd actually been to sleep in. He would need to wear a clean pair of pyjamas. Mummy has some standards, not many, but some. And that he would need to wear a pair of pants underneath, which I think took the shine off it a little bit. The child who is doing World Book Day tomorrow, they're doing traditional come as a character World Book Day. She is going as Cruella de Vil from the 50s novel by Dodie Smith, which she has read. I read it to her a couple of years ago as a bedtime story, and she read it independently this year, so that is fine, that is legitimate, she has read it. If you haven't read the original 101 Dalmatians novel by Dodie Smith, I would highly recommend it. Even as an adult, it's a much better book than the rather neutered Disney films of the same name. Yeah, thoroughly would recommend that. Right, so that is my rant about Book Day over. I'm sorry if you had to sit through the last 4 or 5 minutes of that. I will show you some cross stitch now. If you fast forwarded through that, probably wise. So as I say, it's been a busy few weeks, so I haven't got loads of cross stitch to show you. I have got 3 whips. I haven't got any finishes, and you'll be horrified to learn I haven't got any fully finished objects. I have a tiny bit of haul, and that's it. I haven't brought my knitting because I haven't done a lot of knitting. I've done a bit, but it is a bit, and it's not enough to really see any progress, if you like. I'm still on the cuff of my second sock. Do second socks always take longer to knit than the first one? Seems like they might. So yeah, so that is what we're gonna cover off today. It's also Nashville Needlework Market this weekend. I think does it start today? Or does it start tomorrow? Does it start on the Friday? So for the first time in forever, I haven't put in a pre-order. And there were lots of nice things. And I think I'll probably buy some of them. There's a couple of Theresa Kogut's I quite liked. And there's a Kathy Barrick I quite liked. But you know, nothing grabbed me and went, you must have me now. So I didn't, and I thought, you know, actually, most of this stuff I will be able to get in the next month or so if I, you know, suddenly decide I must have it in my life. But yeah, I was a bit like, it's all pleasant, but there was nothing that like punched me in the face like some years and was like, you must have me. And I'm starting to look at my stash. I have a lot of stash. I'm thinking, I need to stitch some of this, to be honest. And not in like a punitive, you must stitch this stash. Like, I like this stuff. I need to stitch this stuff. So there won't be some like big market haul video in a couple of weeks, which may be a disappointment or a merciful relief, depending on your point of view. Right, shall I show you some stitching? Thank you if you're new and you stuck it this long. Thank you if you're new. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you if you stuck it with me this long. Because I've managed to waffle for nearly 15 minutes without actually showing any stitching whatsoever. So I'm sorry about that. I don't usually do that. Right. Oh, and thank you as well to all the people who've given me lovely shout outs. Because the last couple of weeks have been so busy, I am super behind with my Flosstube view, but I know quite a few people have given me lovely shout outs. So thank you if you have. I'm halfway through Charlie Feather's latest video and she gives me a lovely shout out, and also she's doing it outside. That's awesome. Like, more of us should do our Flosstubes outside. Maybe I'll try that in the summer. Maybe we'll go in the garden. We'll see. We will see. Right, so since I last saw you, what have I been stitching on? Right, so last time I saw you, I was stitching on Arranging Microbes by Ink Circles, which was one of my February WIPGO calls. And I continued with that. I'm dropping the chart on the floor. It's like the plastic slippy is just slipping off the chair. Now, I think I would say I was hoping I would get most of this done, which I didn't at all. But I am, just move the needle minder so you can see it. I'd say maybe a quarter. I think I'm perhaps a quarter of the way there. So not even nearly all of it, no. This is where I am. So I think last time you saw it, I was finishing this big germ in the middle. And obviously I've done these germs and this, and I've nearly finished this one. I've just got to do a bit of filling on that one. This is stitched on 40 count white linen, and I am using all the called for Weeks Dye Works threads because one of the things I love about this is the colour palette. This will be going in my children's, we have a playroom and there's kind of a bathroom off the playroom, and it will be going in there to remind them of the importance of hand hygiene. They're a bit sporadic. I don't think they're any worse than any other kids, but you know, I'd like it if they wash their hands a bit more. So I've been working on that. That was my kind of evening stitching until the 23rd of Feb. And I started something new, which I'll show you in a minute. So, you know, the year and no new starts is not going well, given I'm on 2 already. And then once I'd done that, I used that as my out and about stitching, which is probably why there hasn't been as much progress, because, you know, it is 40 count. And while I can stitch it out and about, 40 count isn't necessarily the easiest thing to stitch on in a car. So that's what I'll do. And I think I might, I'm just going to take it off the Q-Sap now actually, because I'm just going to put it away for a little while, because I've decided that I am going to stitch on Seize the Day by Caterpillar Cross Stitch as my out and about piece for a little while, because I'd like to get that finished this year. And if I want to get it finished this year, I actually have to, you know, stitch on it sometimes. So yeah, right, take that off the Q-Snap, that's done. Maybe as it's World Book Day, I should pull out one of my Stitching Book Club pieces and stitch on that a bit today. Because I'm going to have some out and about stitching today, but that's probably it, because I've got some parish council stuff to do tonight. So I won't be in, so that probably means no stitching. Right. Okay, so then on the 23rd of Feb, I had a new start, and I'm keeping this in my Penelope's Pocket project bag. And I started The Uniqueness of Others by Yasmin Made with Love. And this is one of Yasmin's charity pieces. So for those of you that don't know, Yasmin's running the London Marathon in April in aid of MenCap. And one of the ways she was raising money was if you donated to her Just Giving page, she would send you some of the charts she has designed. So I gave her a donation and she sent me some of her charts. I can't speak. And then Ros Clark Crafts said, why don't we do a Sal to support Yasmin? So that's the hashtag Yas Marathon Sal. And the idea was we all started on the 23rd of Feb, and then we all try and finish it on the 23rd of March. No, 23rd of April, which is the day of the London Marathon. Now, I've just realised that is not going to be possible for me because my daughters are in a dance show that day, so I will be backstage getting kids in costumes and makeup. So it seems unlikely I'll finish it as Yasmin's running her marathon, but I will try and finish it by that date. Anyway, I've made a good start in my mind, and this is where I've got to. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So I've done, apart from the back stitch and a little bit of infill on the second feather, I've done this feather and this feather in kind of what, So I started it on the 23rd and on the 2nd of March. What's that, like a week? Just over a week? I started last Wednesday? Yeah, I guess I probably did. Last Tuesday. Anyway, one day last week. So I don't think that's too bad for a week. And it hasn't, as I say, it hasn't been the best week of stitching. So I think there's a good chance that I could get it done. I am stitching this on, what is this fabric? It's a fabric you can't get anymore, but it's something I had in stash. So everything I'm stitching this on, I pulled from stash. I haven't bought anything. This is 28 count cashel linen from Crafty Kitten Fabric in her September 2018 limited edition colour. So not only was it a club kind of limited edition colour, she's also out of business. So I'm afraid you can't get your hands on this, but it's kind of a grey blue with yellowy splodges. I thought it was quite nice. I didn't realise it was a 28 count when I picked it up because I just didn't read the label properly. I thought it was a 32 and I thought, gosh, these stitches seem massive. And then I realised it was actually a 28 count. And I pulled colours from stash. So Yasmin's charted it all in DMC, but I went for similar colours from my stash. So I've got some classic Colourworks, some Colour and Cotton, Gentle Arts. I'm using one of the DMCs because I didn't have something appropriate in my kind of overdyed stash. And then I found this, which I think I showed you last time from my Cottage Garden Threads monthly club. That's not, looks a bit darker than it is. But how perfect is that for this pattern? So instead of using the brown that's called for to do the border and the words and whatnot, I'm going to use this, which is, I just thought it was quite peacocky. I'm probably not going to do the words at the bottom, I'm probably just going to do the border, because I would like to make this wall a bird wall, inspired by Yasmin, because she's got a lovely bird wall at home. So there you go, that's what I've been working on there, and so I put that away. I worked on that for the rest of February, I didn't work on that yesterday. And then yesterday, so obviously we got our new WIPGO calls for March. So I finished my arranging microbes, that did get 10 days stitching in February. But my other February WIPGO call was Hotman Hollow, which is still down the side of this chair from when I filmed 2 weeks ago. So that hasn't been touched again. So I've got to finish that block to complete my WIPGO goal on that. But that didn't happen because I was starting that peacock piece. So I just got to put something back in here. And then we got our new WIPGO calls for March. And one of them's the thing I'm about to show you. And the other one is Rose Hips and Ivy from the Sewing Club book by Blackbird Designs, which is somewhere over there. All my whips are in a box here from when I did my whip parade, what, like 2 months ago? Yeah, need to tidy up. To be honest, they're not tidy, they're just in a big box and they just haven't moved out of this room. So I'll get that out at some point this month, I think. Although, to be honest, WIPGO isn't... I was really motivated by WIPGO last year. I think because I had those two, like, big focus projects to work on. But this year I'm like, I might just want to dot around here and there. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes for WIPGO this year. But anyway, what I'm about to show you was a WIPGO call. That was Quaker Alphabet. So I got Quaker Alphabet out last night. And this is down for 10 days stitching for WIPGO. Sorry about the glare on there. Will I get it finished in 10 days? Maybe. Maybe. We always say this to ourselves, don't we? This chart was a gift from Sarah of Penelope's Pocket, which was really nice of her. And it's in this bag, which is obviously a Penelope's Pocket bag. And it's in this bag because I bought this bag from her. And when I opened it, I didn't know she was sending me this. And this was inside. So this will stay in this bag until it's done. Where did I get to? Here is where it is. I am a convert to this frame, by the way. I am really enjoying using it. The tension is fabulous. It was well worth the wait. What I will say is you do need to leave a bit more margin if you end up stitching on one of these frames. This one's a little bit tight. I've just about managed to get it in the frame, but as you can see, there's not a lot of room for error there. So I will have to leave bigger margins. So last night, what did I do last night? I did part of this diagonal line here and then started infilling these motifs in this Quaker. Yeah, I do love this. I'm stitching this in sulky. It's the first time I've stitched in sulky, and I'm using the sulky 12 weights. I have a variegated blue and a hard blue. This solid blue I'll be using for the letters in the middle, and then the variegated one I'm using for the motifs. It's stitched on, I think it's foxglove and lace linen, and it's a, let's find the tag, 36 count latte. Really like it. I'm really happy with the thread and colour combinations on this one. Hopefully I can make some really good progress on this in 10 days. And yeah, as I say, absolutely loving the Millennium frame. I am a complete convert to it. So yeah, looking forward to getting some more longer bars for the top so that I can get bigger pieces on it. But yeah, really enjoying that. So that's everything I've been working on since I last saw you. It's not huge amounts, I'm afraid, for 2 weeks, but hopefully you've enjoyed seeing that. And I've got 2 bits of haul that I'm going to show you, and then we're done. So 1 second and then I'll show you my haul. Okay, so haul, what have I bought? So the first thing I've bought is another Penelope's Pocket project bag. So you might remember last year Sarah released some Teresa Kogut fabric project bags, and she's done some more, and I snapped one up. I got this one. How amazing is that? And it's one of her ones that doesn't have a vinyl front. She started making these, I think they're called Dorothy's, without the vinyl front. So yeah, really love that. And then she did it. She usually puts the lining on the website, but she didn't. So it's going to be like a secret lining. So if you don't want to see the secret lining, look away now. But that's the secret lining. Isn't it cool? And I also obviously got a thread ring with it, which has one of the flowers on it. So that was one bit of haul. I haven't decided what to put in there yet. So it's just waiting for the right thing. My other Teresa Kogut bag actually is just here. It's just on the top, so I'll just grab it and show it to you. So that's the other one that she did last year. And I have 2 Teresa Kogut project bags. And then my second bit of haul is in a fancy box. It's in a fancy box. I think some of you might know what this box means, but it's the first time I have bought from this company, so I didn't know about the fancy box. So what is in? And this, I have already opened this, so it's not an unboxing, but the label on the side will tell you. So this is my first ever Gecko Rouge kit. I think I might have gone slightly out of my mind because I'm not sure full coverage is my thing, but you know, you only live once. Anyway, so once you take the lid off, it's in like some red wrapping, and then you get a little gecko charm. I managed to stick him under the sticker as I put it away. Hold on. A little gecko charm. And last year when I finished my WIPGO board, and because it was those 2 big focus projects, I was like, I'm going to buy myself a proper treat for getting those done. And this is what I treated myself to, because I think we all know Gecko Rouge kits are not the cheapest cross-stitch product out there. I was like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to treat myself. And so I ordered, and to be fair, this hasn't been on order since like November when I finished my WIPGO board. I ordered it January this year at some point, and they do clearly state like a 6-week lead time on their website. It was well within their lead time. But this is what I bought. Hold on, I'm just going to check. it's called Bobbin Boat Harbour Tenby, and it's the artwork, the original artwork is by Dorian Spencer Davies, and I love her stuff. There's a lot of Welsh scenes in this kind of quite modern interpretive kind of cartoony style. I just love it. And I particularly love this one because I have a lot of very happy memories of Tenby, both as a child on holiday there. One of my cousins who I'm really close to used to live close to Tenby, so I have wonderful memories of being there with her. I've taken my kids there a couple of times on holiday since becoming an adult, and yeah, lots of happy memories of Tenby. And in fact, we were talking about what we're going to do for our summer holiday this year the other day, and we're thinking of going to France. We haven't been to France since 2020, went summer 2020, and one of my kids said, "Oh, I don't want to do that, I want to go to Wales, I really liked Wales last year." So anyway, so I bought this, and this is going to be my big birthday new start. So I think I've been saying for ages, I knew what it was going to be, etc, etc, but it's here now. So this is what I'm going to start for my birthday, for 40 in September. So that is very exciting. I chose the PDF pattern option, so I've got the PDF already. So the other things that came in the kit were the fabric. I chose the 25 count easy grid, or whatever you call it, and I got a needle minder. Don't focus on me. I got a matching needle minder, and then you get your thread, because Gecko Rouge don't tell you what. Can you see that? They don't tell you the thread colours they use. They just give you the symbols. It's just to prevent their work from being pirated. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. I absolutely love it. I've never seen anyone stitch this either. If you do know someone that stitched this, let me know who, so I can go and have a look at it. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. Now I've just got to hold off till September. Yeah, so there you go, finally my reveal of what I'm going to stitch for my birthday. And that's it. That is all I have for you today. So thank you if you stuck with me today, especially my ranty beginning about World Book Day. Yeah, I know some people love it. It's just, perhaps I'm too jaded, perhaps I've done it too many times. Anyway, I will try and be back on schedule on Tuesday. Let's have a look. Tuesday the what of what? Tuesday the 14th of March. I can't believe we're in March. Oh my god. Yeah, another year flying by. Tuesday the 14th of March. I hope to be back and recording and seeing you then. And in the meantime, enjoy your stitching. Try not to get as grumpy as me about World Book Day. And I'll see you later, Stitchers. Bye.